there's like a 5-second delay between when I say things and when you hear them. So that's why I'm just staring blankly up at the monitor ahead. So today's sequence is titled Warriors and Sages, and my inspiration for this title and this sequence was really, I think it had its inspiration in taking class outdoors the other week, and we're in this outdoor space where you could choose to be in a shaded area, or you could choose to be on pavement, on grass, on a slope, on a flat space, in the sun. And it made me think about how often I practice indoors and in the same space where there are not all of these environmental factors that really are affecting my physical comfort, really. So I ended up taking a space in the shade, and I tried to get my mat on as level of playing field as possible. But it made me think about how we are always in relationship. You know, our experience, our sensory experience is always in relationship to our environment. And how I was thinking in that moment where I'm like, oh, this tree is part of my practice today. Like, this tree is providing me with shade, and this grass is part of my practice today. This grass is affecting how I connect with the earth. You know, the sensations of my feet on the earth, on the ground. So anyway, fast track to now with this concept of warrior and sage, and I was really thinking about the gaze of the poses and where our focus is as we move through these shapes. And I was thinking that some of these sage poses are more internally focused, where we are in a position and of a mindset to be looking inward and focusing on our proprioception, the experience of our inner bodies. And then I was thinking of warrior poses where the gaze of the pose is out, and they're kind of expressive poses, the term warrior would probably imply, because a warrior is in battle. A warrior is in the world, like putting forces into the world rather than turning the gaze inward as a sage would. So anyway, that's kind of my impetus for class today. Hopefully it comes off well and you all enjoy it. So let's get started. We'll come to a seated position to begin. I am going to try recording the podcast today. Still finding my footing here with this schedule. Oh, come on, phone. Sometimes I turn on this app and it doesn't let me record. And it looks like it's gonna be one of those days where it doesn't let me record. So never mind about that. Let me focus solely on you guys. Come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position, or otherwise. So usually I like to emphasize for this first position that you feel comfortable and supported. So create a seat where you feel comfortable and supported, and then close your eyes and find a place to rest your hands. As you close your eyes, invite yourself here. Arrive in this space, this time for practice. begin your arrival by noticing the spaces where your body is touching the surfaces beneath you. Feel the energetic connection between your body and those spaces. You might think of this connection like a tree rooting down, the energy of your body pushing into the earth, reaching downward like the roots of a tree. And then the earth sending energy up through your body. Lengthen along your spine as you feel the energy from the earth rising up you. You might shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, actively lengthening the sides of your body. Loop your shoulder blades together behind your heart, broadening and opening the chest space. And then release the shoulder blades down the back as the weight of the forearms melt towards the earth. Draw the chin down parallel with the floor, sides of the neck back, crown of the head lifts. Perhaps at this point, scanning the inner body for sensation, noticing any areas of discomfort, pain, or soreness. Might these signals be a message that you might adjust your seat in some subtle or not so subtle ways? And then again, become aware of the environment around you. So can you feel the air across your skin? Does the air of the room feel warmer or cooler than the surface of your skin? Are there places where you feel a breeze blowing? Are there places where the temperature feels warmer or cooler? Now turn your attention to your breath. If you are not already, begin to breathe in and out through your nostrils. And you may begin Ujjayi Pranayama, triumphant uprising breath. Draw a gentle contraction in at the back of the throat. Okay, you can continue breathing. I was considering what breath we might practice today to keep in this theme, or this this theme of gaze, and where and how we are experiencing sensation in the postures. And I was thinking about the breath of Nadi Shodhana, that's the channel cleansing breath. The way this breath is done is you take the right hand, turn the palm up, and then you take the index and middle finger to the base of the thumb. Now you take the thumb to the crease of the right nostril, and the ring and pinky fingers to the crease of the left nostril. So I recall when I initially learned this pose, the gaze is, the drishti is at the tip of the nose. And I have practiced this many times without regard to that suggested drishti. But I was thinking today about why the drishti may be at the tip of the nose, because, and I'm considering that this is because we may be focusing on this interplay between the air moving out of our body and the air moving into our bodies. So let's try that. Let's try the Nadi Shodhana with the focus at the tip of the nose. So the eyes are just soft and the gaze at the tip of the nose. You bring the left thumb to the crease of the right nostril, the other two fingers to the crease of the left nostril. And you can either choose to keep the contraction at the back of the throat, the ujjayi breath, or you can choose not to do that if that's too much to do all at once. Okay, so we're going to inhale through the right nostril. And exhale through the left nostril. Inhale left. Exhale right. So that's one round. Keep going. And again, if you'd like, try that drishti point, your focus at the end of your nose, and just touch lightly on the nostrils to redirect the breath. Inhale right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. Go for one more round, ending with an exhale through the right nostril. completed that, you can rest your right hand down. And please bring your hands together in front of your heart. We will chant Om 3 times before beginning the moving practice. And as I've been discussing these past couple months about prolonging the sound or elongating the sound so that the sound of the AUM Om vibrates from the earth up to the back of the throat. So first we're really focusing internally on that experience of vibration. And now we're kind of attempting to focus on the sound that is created within our bodies, the vibration within our bodies, as well as listening for the sound that is emanating out. So think about that while you're oming. Exhale. Inhale for the first of 3 ohms. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, switch the cross of your legs, remain seated, and let's twist left. Bring your left hand behind the back, right hand crosses to the left thigh, grow tall along your spine. Inhale and exhale, begin to revolve. Bottom to top, inside to outside, right to left. Head over heart, heart over the center of the pelvis. And consider where your gaze is at this moment. I didn't really direct a position for your gaze, so where did it go? Consider where you're looking, and consider how the gaze might be leading the pose into a deeper expressions, more of an external depth of the pose. So maybe you start to look back if you're not already. What if you tried to look over your left shoulder? Think about leading the gaze with the right eye over the left shoulder. As you do so, notice any tension building in the face, around the edges of the mouth. Is it possible to soften there? Keep breathing deeply along the spine. And then inhale, let's come back through center and counter twist before we go in depth to the second side. Right hand behind, left hand crosses. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, revolve. Right to left now, inside to outside, bottom to top. As you have spent some time and moved some breath through this shape, now consider the gaze. Consider taking the gaze back. Consider taking the gaze over the right shoulder, and notice how the rest of the pose, the rest of the body accommodates this, this call to more depth, a more deeply revolved spine. What does it feel like to intentionally lead the gaze with the left eye? Notice if tension builds in the face as a result. Can you soften that tension with intention? Inhale, come back through center and take a little counter twist. Okay. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Take the knees as wide as the mat, big toes touch. Sit the hips to the heels or towards the heels. Push the hands down and forward to round through the low back. Get the hips really weighted towards the heels. And then look forward as you start to reach the arms forward, lengthen the upper body forward, spread the fingers, open the palms. When you can't reach anymore, let the head fall to or towards the ground. So getting into the pose, there's this gaze leading forward as you reach, and then once you can't reach anymore, the gaze turns downward and the awareness turns inward. Focus on slow, deep breath. Recognize what is calling for your attention in this shape. Your next inhale, push forward and up into a table shape. Shoulders over the wrist. Again, fingers and palms spread, knees are hip width, and move into your cat and cow stretches. Inhale, gaze and tailbone lift, belly and chest push downward into cow, and then exhale. Round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin into your chest and continue to move through these two shapes with the pace of your breath, exploring the range of motion of your spine on this Sunday evening or whenever you may be engaging with the stream. And then again, notice what your gaze does, how you look out and how you look in. So what I mean by that is I think that the rounded spine, the cat pose, is more of an inwardly focused pose, and the cow pose is maybe more of an expressive pose, looking outside yourself, looking more deeply into pushing out rather than turning in or pulling in. I'm noticing myself too that I wouldn't have necessarily known this before, but thinking about it in terms of the gaze, as I move to cow pose, I'm opening my eyes, and then as I move to cat pose, I'm closing my eyes. And just consider the awareness of your senses as as you move through these two shapes. Okay, come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to place the right hand directly below the face. Take the left hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open the chest towards the left. Look up, leaning the head into the hand. Exhale, bring the elbow towards the wrist or forearm. Inhale, open left, lead with the chest. And then let the middle body, lower body accommodate the movement in the upper body. And notice how it does so. So again, this is one where the gaze is moving with the body. As you look up, you're opening the chest, shoulders coming together. As the shoulder blades pull apart, the elbow comes in. The gaze is kind of once again curling inward, turning inward. I'm not counting, are you? Let's do it one more time. Inhale, open left. And exhale, curl in. Okay, left hand below the face, right hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, let's open right, gaze up, elbow up, head in hand. Exhale, elbow to the wrist or forearm. Inhale, open up, look up. Exhale, curl in. Continue to move with the breath. If you counted before, do the same number. I'll just talk for about the same amount of time. That will be that'll be how I gauge how many I've done. Let's do one more after this. Exhale, elbow to wrist. Inhale, open right, head and hand, and then hands back to tabletop. So let's move into a plank position. So you might scooch towards the top of your mat. Really spread the fingers, root through the knuckles, try to shift weight out of the wrists. So if you notice all the weight of the upper body dumping down into the wrists, see if you can try to at least lighten the wrists away from the mat. Then extend the legs back, one at a time, into a plank position. Attempt to align the shoulders, hips, and heels. If the hips are kind of down here, closer to the floor, re-engage the legs, draw back through the sides of the waistline to try to lift the hips up. If that's not happening today, bring the knees down and try it again. Okay, you can keep the knees down or keep the knees lifted. Exhale, push the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Let's do our 5 push-ups. I need to start feeling a little more energy flow here. Inhale, forward to plank. My Sunday vibe is real slow. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, shift the hips back. All this can be done on the knees. That's 1. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. 2 more first set. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 4. Last one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. And let's take some time with our dogs here. So look forward again. Push the hands down and forward. As you look forward, push the hands down and forward. Bend the knees deeply. Shift the hips back, 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 back. Hands forward, hips shift back. Then begin to lengthen the heels towards the floor. Lift into the kneecaps. Release the head down and draw your lower front ribs in and back to lengthen through your middle spine and tone your abdomen. Now the head weighs down. The gaze might go back. I almost always am looking at my feet. But today look at the thighs and then try to push the thighs back. Push the ribs towards the thighs. Whoa, my dog is
My dog is barking today. What does your dog sound like? That was great. I hope everybody out in the out in their home studios had some great dog noises to share there. I'm not going to do mine quite yet. I'll save it for later. Okay, right foot comes in, left leg lifts straight up and back. Let's hold this old three-legged dog. Release the right heel more deeply to the floor. Lift into the right kneecap. Try to diminish the crease at the front of the right hip. Point the left knee and toes downward. Lift through the left inner thigh. Extend back. Lift the leg. Look forward. Exhale. Lunge the left foot between the hands. If you have your blocks and would like to use them on either side of the front foot, you might set your hands up on blocks on either side of the front foot. Bend deeply into the left knee, lift through the right inner upper thigh, gaze forward, soften the face, arrive in your lunge. So again, with this idea of what kind of perception we're using as we move through the poses, I think that also the perception kind of flows with the breath. For me, the inhale breath is a more introspective moment, and the exhale breath is a more expressive moment. So there's always this duality in life and on the mat. Inhale, exhale, contraction, extension, stability, adaptability, flexibility. Okay, from here we're going to transition into Warrior One. So the class is called Warriors and Sages, so we better do some warriors. Step the right foot forward about 6 inches and turn the right toes at an angle towards the top of the right corner of the mat. Now bring your hands to your hips. We're going to move into this gradually. And attempt to wrap your right ribs forward. Try to ground through the outer edge of your right foot. And then shift the hips forward and down. So I notice when I shift my hips forward and down, all my weight kind of extends forward. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want all my weight, all my momentum forward. I want to have stability where I am. So I want to pull back into the right foot. Sink the hips down, move forward, and then pull back. Lower ribs in and back, weight back to the right foot. Arms at your sides, roll the shoulders back, palms face forward. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Now, keep that stability. It doesn't seem right to look up at this moment. How does it feel for you? I don't feel like it's very warrior-like to look up because I want to be looking into battle. So I'm going to keep looking straight ahead of me, and I'm going to research more this drishti of Warrior One in the future. So be, if you want to look up, and then be again with the breath. Let's consider the expression of this first warrior pose. It's definitely an expression of strength, and you want to have that stability in the legs, the lunging forward, kind of an intimidating lunge, and then the pulling back for stability, the growing tall out of the spine, again making yourself big. And then infuse the whole pose with breath. And then push back into the hips, straightening the left leg. Bring the hands down onto the blocks. Place them off to the side if you have the blocks. And then press back, downward facing dog. Okay, Warrior One, first side. Come back to downward dog, and then we'll do the second side. Right leg lifts straight up and back. And we're going to hold again here.
Push the hands down forward, shift the hips up and back. Release the left heel downward, lift into the left kneecap. You might be looking at all these body parts as I mention them. Try to diminish the crease at the front of your left ankle. Point the right knee, right toes down, lift through the right inner upper thigh. Reach back, lift the leg, reach back, lift the leg, reach back, lift the leg. Look forward and lunge the right foot between the hands. Again, you might set up with blocks on either side of your front foot or not. Establish the lunge. Connect with the breath. Okay, we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So step the back foot forward, left toes point towards the top left corner of the mat, hands to the hips, come on up, square the chest forward by drawing the left ribs forward, the right ribs draw slightly back, and then bend deeply into the front knee. So again, as that momentum goes forward, we don't want to lose our balance, lose our stability. So we're going to lunge intimidatingly, dramatically forward, and then we're going to pull back into the sides of the waistline and back into that left foot. So focus on the depth of the lunge, the strength and stability of the legs. Then take your arms out along the sides of the body. Sweep the arms overhead so that palms face one another. Grow tall up out of the sides of the waistline through the fingertips as you lengthen down through the tailbone. Again, consider your drishti. And I stand by it. For my warrior, I want to be looking ahead of me. I don't want to be looking up in the sky unless I'm anticipating an attack from the tree above me. Breathe your breath. Be in the strength of your warrior. The expression of stability and confidence. Press the right leg straight. Hands frame the front leg. Place the blocks off to the side. Press back, downward facing dog. You might walk out your dog again as you get reacquainted. And let's just knock out another set of 5 push-ups. Follow me if you will. Inhale to plank or plank on the knees. Exhale, lower down with control. Inhale, press up. Exhale, back 1. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 4. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 5. Right foot towards center. Left leg lifts straight up and back. Look forward. Exhale, lunge the left foot between the hands. Set up with your blocks again. Establish the lunge. Then take the right foot forward. Come up, warrior 1. Whatever steps you want to take to get there. Couple breaths in warrior 1. Establish your deep lunge, so forward momentum, and then pull back through the sides of the waistline. Ground through the right foot. Now we're going to open up into warrior 2. Okay, so to do this, keep the left leg bent. Turn the outside edge of the right foot parallel to the short end of your mat, and then take your arms down to the height of the shoulders. This is not my favorite way to move into warrior 2, but it is a way. So I have the advantage of seeing myself in this monitor here. So, but I do find that there's some tweaking that needs to happen between warrior 1 and warrior 2 because the hips are now opening out to the right side.
Bend deep into the left knee. The stance got a little wider. Right ribs back. Lower ribs in and back. Tailbone down. Crown of the head lifts. And now for this one, keep your chin parallel to the floor and take the gaze out beyond the left fingertips. Soften the face. Gaze is out towards the battle. You're kind of striking this, again, this pose that is exemplifying strength, stability, flexibility. Keep even weight between the feet, spine tall, arms long. Be with the breath. Notice any tension in the face and soften into the face. Straighten the left leg. Windmill the hands down to either side of the front leg, possibly onto the blocks. Lift onto the right toes. Place the blocks off to either side. Plant the hands. Send the left leg maybe up and back. Three-legged dog to downward facing dog. Whew. Okay, you might walk out your dog. Get reacquainted. And then do the darn thing on the second side. Left foot towards center, right leg lifts. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge. Establish the lunge, perhaps with blocks. Deep bend in the front knee. Step the back foot forward. Come on up. Warrior one. Momentum forward and draw back. Bend in the front knee, weight in the front heel, draw back through the sides of the waistline, lengthen down through the tailbone, reach up through the fingertips. And now we're going to transition warrior two. So left leg steps back and outer edge of the foot comes parallel to the short end of the mat. Arms come down to the height of the shoulders. Extension through the right inner thigh. Length down through the tailbone, sides of the waistline back. Head over heart, heart over the center of the pelvis. Shifting deeply into the front knee and then pushing weight back down into the outer edge of the left foot. Left leg strong. And then finally that drishti, that gaze out into the battle. It's taking place out beyond the right fingertips. Exemplify strength, stability. What else would a warrior be? Adaptable. Not attached. That's a big one for me. Certainly building up some fire for battle here, right? Straighten the right leg when you feel even. Hands on the blocks. Place the blocks off to the side. Press back, downward facing dog. Walk it out. Okay, you might have guessed what's coming next. We're going to go from warrior two, warrior one to warrior two, to warrior three. How are we going to do it? Has it ever been done? Well, it's all a big ride. It's all a big exploration here. Okay, right foot to, let's do those push-ups. Let me invite you on a journey through our final third set of 5 push-ups. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back 1. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back 2. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back 3. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back 4. Last one. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale, press, exhale back. Whoa. Right foot towards center, left leg
top of your mat, lunge the left foot forward between the hands, set up with your lunge. If you like the blocks, use them. Step the right foot forward a smidge, hands to hips or arms sweep up the sides of the body. Couple of breaths in warrior one. Shift momentum forward and then pull it back. Draw up, out of the waistline, through the fingertips, chin parallel to the floor, length through the crown of the head. And then transition, warrior two. Open the right hip back, right outer hip, foot parallel with the short end of the mat, arms down to the height of the shoulders, chin parallel to the floor, look out beyond the left fingertips, soften the face. Deep bend in the left leg, extension through the inner thigh. How are we ever going to do this? It's going to be fun. Okay, breathe into warrior two. And then let's take the hands to the hips. Step the right foot forward and turn the right toes to the top of the mat. Make sure you have a runway in front of you because you're about to take off. This is your flying warrior pose. Lean the upper body forward, bend the left knee. Momentum shifting forward. And then lift through the back inner thigh. Reach the arms out and back. Reach the arms straight out. Reach the arms forward. Again, gaze is forward. Into the battle. Right outer hip down, right inner thigh lifts. Lift through the left kneecap. Tailbone and heel back, heart and gaze forward. Again, find that extension, get larger, get strong and stable. Find your way back. Oh, I am shaking today. Okay, press back. Downward facing dog. We got one more side. Right leg lifts. Look forward, lunge forward. Hands on either side of the front foot. Establish your lunge. Then left foot forward. Sweep up. Warrior one. Momentum forward, draw back. Momentum forward, draw back. Lift up, grow tall. Okay, warrior two. Left outer foot parallel with the short end of the mat. Arms parallel to the floor. Bend deeply into the right knee. Toe in the left leg. Extension through the right inner thigh. Gaze out beyond those right fingertips to the battle ahead. Okay, hands to hips. Step the left foot forward and turn the left toes to the top of the mat. Square the hips and chest forward. Bend into the right knee. Lean the upper body forward. And then lift the left leg. Ground through the right leg. Look forward. Arms out. Arms back. Arms forward. Hands in prayer. Find your stability. Your drishti out to the battle ahead. Hands to the blocks. As you're ready, come on back. Downward facing dog. Walk out your dog. One leg at a time. Take some time. I'm like, very happy to be doing an animal pose right now as opposed to a warrior pose. It just feels a little less serious, a little more playful. Transition forward to plank, and then lower your knees down to the floor. Tilt your tailbone in the air as though you're doing cow pose. Reach your chin forward, and then bend your elbows back as you lower chin and chest to the floor at the same time. Shoulder blades together behind your heart, and then slide forward onto your stomach, arms at your sides, legs extend back one at a time. Whew. Let's rest for a moment. Right cheek to the floor. Big toes turn in, arms heavy at your sides. Head heavy, neck softens, upper back broadens. You can either take a soft gaze at the edge of your own mat, or close the eyes with more intention to turn the gaze inward. Arrive in this moment and recognize the culmination of the practice thus far, the resonant energy of this moment. Take your chin to the floor. Lengthen your legs back one at a time. Point through the toes. Ground through the tops of the feet. Tone the muscles of the legs so the kneecaps lift. Lengthen back through the tailbone and then scoop it forward so the front of the pelvis pushes down. Draw your lower abdomen in and up. Plant your wrists by your ribs. Elbows up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades shrug onto the back. Curl your chin and chest up away from the floor. Shoulder blades down the back, elbows squeeze in, and then begin to press down with the hands. Keep the elbows pushing down, shoulder blades on the back, collarbones broad, legs toned. Isometrically draw back with the hands. So as you press down, pull back. Maybe sides of the neck go back, maybe crown of the head tilts back, look up, breathe. Slowly lower down. Left cheek to the floor, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels widen apart, head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad. Back to the moment, back to the breath. So I find these back bending practices to be very expressive, emotive, externally motivated. And then the moments after those experiences, I like to counter the poses with these soft shapes, these reflective moments. Because in the moment, there's a lot of engagement. For myself, I'm not really noticing my body that much beyond where I'm putting it, how far I'm pushing it. And then here is now this opportunity to experience the aftermath of that effort. Okay, let's do another one of those. Chin to the floor, lengthen the legs back, feet are hip width distance apart, tone the legs, press the feet down, maybe the kneecaps pull up and away from the floor. Lengthen back through the tailbone, scoop the tailbone forward, front of the pelvis grounds. Consider trying to lift your lower abdomen in and up off of the floor. Hands by the ribs, spread the fingers, elbows up, shoulders on the back. Inhale, peel the chin and chest up away from the floor. Shoulders away from the ears, elbows down towards the hips. Push down,
Pull back with the hands, broaden the collarbones, keep the feet pointing back, grounding down, kneecaps lifting, lower abdomen drawing in and up, sides of the neck back, crown of the head tilts up, looking back, looking up into the unknown. You know, it's a back bend after all. Soften the face, keep breathing. And then slowly lower back down, right cheek to the floor. Arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart. Head heavy, neck soft, eyes soft or closed. Opportunity to reflect. Okay, chin back to the floor, bend the knees, flex the feet, reach back for the outer ankles. Grab hold of the ankles. If you can grab both, do so. If you can grab one, grab the left one to start. You'll get the right one on the second side. Ankles and knees hug in to about hip width distance apart. Roll the shoulders back. Kick the ankles into the hands. Lift the thighs. Let the arms be pulled back. The chest lifts up. Breathe into your bow pose. Push the feet skyward. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the heart up. Sides connect back. Crown of the head lifts. Slowly lower. What are we on? Left cheek to the floor. Arms at your sides. Big toes touch. Heels widen apart. Arrive with the breath. Each inhale, more air in. Each exhale, empty the lungs more completely. Gotta make time for those sage poses. At least one. Okay. Chin back to the floor. Last back bend here. Point the toes. If you can grab the outside edges of both feet, do. If you grabbed the left ankle on the first time, keep the feet flexed, and this time grab the outside of the right ankle. Otherwise, if you're grabbing the outer edges of the foot, the pose is going to be a little different. It's still bow pose, just a variant thereof. Ankles and knees hug in, hip width distance apart. Kick the feet into the hands, and then curl up. Kick. Kick and kick and kick and kick. Let the arms be pulled back. Gaze up, sides of the neck back. Point the toes. Slowly lower down, right cheek to the floor. As you're ready, big toes touch, heels widen apart. Arrive in this passive shape. Let yourself be held by the earth. Chin to the floor, tuck your toes. Send your hips all the way back to your heels with the toes tucked under. Push the hands down and forward. Chin to chest, forehead towards the floor. Countering all those back bends. Keep getting some
rounding of the low spine. Slowly curl up through the spine. If you have a blanket, it will likely be helpful to sit up on a blanket here. If you don't have a blanket, a block might be helpful. You could sit on the floor, but often most of us benefit from some height underneath the hips as we come into a staff pose. So you might manually move the flesh of your buttocks back and apart, get a good connection between your sits bones and the surface beneath you. So the purpose for the block, or the blanket, or the surface that you're getting some height up underneath your hips, the purpose is to really get this height up out of your low back, rather than rounding the back as you take this seat with the legs in front. So it might also mean that you have more than one prop underneath your hips. But attempt to get that lift out of the low back as you lengthen the legs forward. Tone the legs, draw Janu Bandha, kneecaps draw in and up. Push the soles of the feet forward. And depending on your arm to torso ratio, your hands will either be right along the sides of your hips, or if you have longer arms, they might be back here somewhere. Try to create that tall spine, lifting up out of the hips, extending forward actively through the legs. Chin parallel to the floor, gaze forward. And then I wonder what it means for the pose to be, staff pose to be named after, I believe, just a, inanimate object. But perhaps an object that can channel or wield power. So now we will transition into Marichyasana, or the name of a sage, one. So I don't get too into the Hindu mythology, or have not in my practice thus far. But if you want to research Virabhadrasana and Marichyasana, they're individual sages with individual stories. But I'm just going to call it more generically sage pose. So we're going to bring the left heel in towards the left hip. Keep about a fist's width distance between the inner left foot and the inner right thigh. Once again, grow tall. It might be helpful here to have a strap to use as an arm extender. Left arm extends up along the left side body, reach up to the sky, and then hinge at the hips, fold over the right leg. You might, in this transitional shape, grab the outside of the right foot and pull the heart long over the right leg. Then the left arm's going to sweep out in front of the left shin. As much, get the shin hugged into the side ribs, and then wrap the front of the arm around the shin, bending the elbow. Turn this way. Bending the elbow so that the palm is facing out. I'm folded over the front leg. I'm wrapping the arm around the left knee. My hand is facing out, and then my right arm is reaching back. And either I'm going to use a strap to connect my hands, or if possible, I'm going to try to clasp my fingers. Or if you really have some space here, you could grab, I think I should check this too, but I think that
since the right arm is the actively reaching one, I think the right wrist would grab the left the right hand would grab the left wrist. Okay, so reach out over the right leg with the chin and chest. Keep that good grip with the hands together or on the strap. Keep the sits bones grounded, and then forehead towards or to the leg or knee. So now that gaze is inwardly focused. So consider the perception, your perception in this pose. My idea today is that this sage type posture, this pose of the person seeking inner wisdom is going to be this inwardly focused pose, the gaze turning in, more of the proprioception, the experience of the inner body. Okay, as you're ready, release the hands, push your way back up, and then we'll do the second side. You can turn back this way. So extend the left leg forward, bring the right heel in towards the right hip, keeping about a fist's width distance between the inner foot and inner thigh. I have this habit of moving the flesh of my buttocks back and apart to get a better seat. This is a great time to try it if you're home and not in the midst of a studio setting. Left hand by the left hip, right arm reaches up, and then fold over the left leg. So the right leg moves a little bit out to the right to accommodate the upper body folding forward. Grab the outside of the left foot with the right hand, pull the chin and chest forward. And then hug the right knee, right thigh in towards the right ribs. Wrap the right arm around the front of the right shin. Bend the elbow, turn the palm to face out. And then wrap the left arm back, perhaps reaching for fingertips or that strap for an arm extender. Again, my instinct here is to say that if you could grab the wrists, you would use the left hand to reach for the right wrist. So I think the left arm is the more actively seeking arm. Okay. Tone the left leg, ground through the sits bones, shoulders back, heart forward, and then round the upper back, forehead towards or to the leg or knee. And then gaze inward. You might close the eyes. Okay, release the clasp, come on up. And we're going to go back through staff pose. I don't know what Marichyasana 2 is right now, so we're not going to do it. I need to look that one up. For some reason, I'm thinking it's not a very, it's
not a very frequently encountered pose for me. So I am going to lead us into Marichiasana 3. Okay, so right leg stays as is, left foot pulls in, just like the previous pose, or for a modification, you could bring the right foot at an angle and cross the left leg over. So that would be a modification for this pose. Left hand behind, right arm reaches, and this is going to be a twist. The right elbow is going to come to the outside of the right thigh. Head over heart, heart over the center of the pelvis. Right leg stays toned. And then this one, the gaze isn't inward. I believe the drishti for this one would be to keep continuing the gaze over the left shoulder, leading with the right eye. So there goes my whole theory of everything. Again. Okay, so I hope you find that funny too. Okay, so this could be a bind. It's a pretty deep bind. If you happen to eat anything before this, you'll feel like this is a little uncomfortable. I'm going to attempt the bind by bringing my right armpit closer to my left thigh, and then again wrapping the elbow around the front of the shin, and then reaching back with the right hand and coming back upright, and again attempting to look over the left shoulder with some varying degree of success and or frustration. Again, consider your sensory experience here. Is it more of an internally focused experience where you're feeling your muscles, or you are more focused on the external expression of the pose? And it can be both. It can be one thing one day and another thing another day. That's what keeps the practice interesting, that it is it can be a lifelong journey. Okay, unbind, unwind. And of course you could have used the strap there too, I forgot to mention. Okay, back through the staff pose and draw the right heel in. Okay, so this we're getting towards the end of practice here. I said 75 minutes-ish, since this is my first Sunday evening class. I wasn't really sure. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel. I feel different on a Sunday evening than I do on a Monday morning. Right hand behind the hip, grow tall. And you can either take the foot to the inside of the thigh or cross the ankle over. That might give you a little more accessibility to this shape. Left arm up, lift up out of the left waistline, and then hook the elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Use the arm against the leg to revolve the left side of the belly, the left ribs, the left shoulder towards the right, revolving around the central channel of the spine. Propping the chest up with the right hand without leaning back into it. And then maybe the gaze leads over the right shoulder with the left eye. Perhaps you attempt that deep twist, bound twist. So bringing the left armpit towards the right thigh, wrap the arm around the front of the shin. If you have your strap, you can have that as a tool, as a prop. Right arm behind, attempt to grab those fingertips. Again, like if you could grab your wrist here, again, I'm thinking that the leading of the right arm is going to, the right hand would grab the left wrist. I like to remind myself constantly that yoga is invented, it's innovation, and the innovation is continuing. We are all, as we experience
yoga, as we experience this asana in new environments as new people, we are influencing how it grows and changes. So good to be mindful of that and intentional in how you practice, how you share your experiences. Okay, release that bind, unwind. Okay, once more back through. Once more back through your staff pose. Your inanimate object that can channel, magic. Magic, if you like that kind of stuff. Who doesn't like magic? Come on, people. Y'all love magic, right? Okay, gaze to the horizon, tall spine, long neck. Let's fold over those legs. Release. Reach through the chin and chest and release the head downward. If you would like to grab a prop to let the weight of your head fall down onto something, if it's not at the legs. Okay, I want to stay there for 5 more minutes, but but I'm not going to. You can if you want to, but I'm going to come on out of there and lead us towards Savasana. So as you are ready, come to lie on your back. Do our usual little cool down routine. Take your feet as wide as the mat, arms out to either side of the room. Exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Inhale, bringing them through center, and exhale, knees fall to the right. Continue these movements side to side with the pace of your breath. And then once on the left-hand side again, pause. Release the weight of your legs. If you choose, you can bring the left ankle to the outside of the right thigh, using the weight of the left leg to draw the right inner thigh down towards the floor. Soft eyes or soft gaze or closed eyes. Relinquishing effort. Unhook the leg, re-square the hips. Let the knees fall to the right. And again, if you'd like, this time the right ankle comes to the outside of the left thigh. Release the weight of the legs down. Soften the abdomen. Arms open.
recenter. Draw the knees into the chest. And then draw them up towards, the knees in and up towards the armpits. Transition to happy baby by grabbing the outer edges of the feet and pulling one knee down towards or to the earth and then the other. Rocking along the spine, side to side. Inner feet together. Interlace the fingers, widen the knees, extend through the inner thighs, lengthen down through the low spine. Release the feet, draw the legs together, wrap the arms around the legs, give yourself a big old hug. Chin to chest, forehead towards you to the knees, squeeze the legs, round the tailbone, squeeze in. Oh, I just love you so much. And then release. I'm going to take legs up the wall in lieu of an inversion today. So if you would also like to do this pose, I would advise you to find some nice wall space that doesn't have too much going on. You know, you don't want this to be where you keep your collection of tiny spoons. And then maybe a hard, firm blanket, a bolster, or a pillow at the baseboard of the wall. Scooch your hips to the wall, swing your legs up the wall, lift your hips up onto the support of the blanket, bolster, or pillow. If you have a strap with a nice little loop in it, you might like to place that around your ankles. Don't have my eye pillow here today, but if you have yours, use it. So, as I have been really trying to hammer home with you guys, but I'm really, talking to myself too, is set yourself up in a position that feels supportive and safe. So give the setup of this pose some attention and intention so that this feels like a space where you want to be for a little while. Invite yourself here. Warriors and sages, and now here we are. Here we are in this corpse pose. So perhaps this is our opportunity to pull back the veil, glimpse into the infinite, the oneness of the universe. Perhaps considering again the sense experience, and that this idea of sensing the outer world and sensing the inner world, and that really there is no hard line between the two. They exist interdependently, all at once. As you're ready, begin to reanimate the body, moving into the fingers and toes. what feels natural to you, and ways to start to move your body. Eventually bend your knees either on the floor or down the wall. Take the left arm along the left ear, roll onto the left side, transitioning from our corpse pose back into this fetal position. And as you're ready, make your way back to a seated position. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, and we will close practice with the single sound of Om. Exhale. And inhale for Om. Thank you for your engagement with this stream. Thank you for your patience and your devotion to your own practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys for sticking with it. That was a wild ride. I've always felt that the practice is very different depending on when you're doing it, and I've been doing some yoga on Sundays just on my own, and my usual routine is just like I'll be in child's pose for half an hour and then I'll do like 10 back bends, so it's a little erratic. But anyway, this was a good start. Thank you for being here. Thanks for adapting with me to changing circumstances. I plan to be here again next week. There's a possibility that my schedule will change again. I will try to let you know ahead of time when the streams are going to happen. I will be streaming again this week at 5:30 on Wednesday, and then next Sunday, Sunday, September 20th, I'll be doing a live class in the morning outside of Rubber Soul. Hopefully we'll have good weather for it because it's not a covered area. It is a $10 suggestion for the class, a $10 suggestion, just suggested donation for the class. It is at 9:30, Revolution Yoga and Therapy Studio. Please come out if you can. I think it will be good. And I unless otherwise notified, I will be teaching this class again at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So yeah, that's the news for now. Please reach out. Tell me if you liked that, if it was weird. I thought it was a little weird, but I liked it. But if you didn't, let me know. I'm open to requests for things you'd like to work on. We didn't have time for an inversion today, but I'll try to make sure that happens next week. Okay, here I go. Have a great evening or rest of your day, whatever time of day it is for you.